Hello, hello, and welcome. I'm going to wait a few minutes and get some of my paints ready while I wait for folks to start joining in. Hello. Hi, Kirsty. All right, so happy birthday to Kirsty, who is celebrating today in Finland. I'm going to take a few minutes to set up some of my paints while I wait for folks to join in. Thank you for the waves, and bear with me for a few minutes. I'm running a little bit late today because I was working on figuring out how to send a 36 by 36 canvas to Canada. And I was on the phone with FedEx, and I was on their website and trying to figure out costs. So fun stuff, right? All right, thank you guys for joining in. I'm kind of looking through, reading names that I can read, like Glenda and Susan, Fitzpatrick, don't know the first name. Let's see. Yeah, some of the names I can't figure out based on the name that you have on there. Susan, hello, hello. Thank you for joining. Hey, Valerie, yay. All right, so I'm going to put out some warm colors. Yesterday, I worked on these two. These are 48 by 30 that are going to go in my bedroom. So I get to do whatever I want to do on these, which is going to be awesome. And yesterday we worked with the cool colors, so the blues and the greens. I threw in some yellow being kind of more neutral. Hi, Christina in Canada, yay. All right, so so today, instead of going with the blue colors, I'm gonna go with the warm colors. So I've got quinacridone red, which I absolutely love because when it's kind of a transparent color, so when I put it on, it's one color, but when I add some white to it, it's a fabulous pinkish color, which I absolutely love. And then I purchased hot pink. I don't know why I did this. I just got this in the mail. It's an opaque color, and I tried it and I figured out I like to create my own pink color. And not get it directly out of a jar. So I'm going to use this up, but I don't think I'll be buying it again. So I'm going to use some pink today. I've got some, this is organic orange, cool color, but I don't like it with white. I don't like how it looks when it blends with white. It creates this color that I don't really care for. Which red? This one is quinacridone red by Nova Color. Somebody said they're having trouble hearing me, that it's cutting in and out. Am I cutting in and out? Let me know. I don't have anything going on in the room, so there aren't any other noises behind me. Hello to Brazil. All right, and then I've got cadmium red. I always have a hard time saying that. All right, so I'm going to use some red. You can see my double dipping that I do in there. So red with a little bit of other color. All right, sounds like you guys can hear me okay. Thank you for saying that, Susan, because I wasn't sure with all the other answers I was getting. You guys can hear me. Fabulous. I'm probably a little bit loud too. All right, so those are my colors because, so I'm here in Winthrop. Those of you guys that know me, hang on, I just untied my shoe. Those of you guys that follow me know that I'm normally in California, in San Jose, but for about almost 20 years, I lived in Washington, in the Seattle area. And then 2 years ago, my husband sold his painting business. He's an interior-exterior house painter. And we partially relocated half of our household to California, where my brother and sister are located. My daughter went down there with me, so she's with me down there. And then we also built a, Barbara, you placed your order, awesome. Then we also built a home in Winthrop, Washington, which is about a 4.5 hour drive from Seattle. in the boonies, kind of northeastern Washington, and it's a very small town out here. There are no stop lights, a few stop signs, but no stop lights. And we love it out here. We were coming out here for a number of years to go cross-country skiing, and kind of fell in love with the area, so we decided to, unofficially retire here. But really our home is, partially in California, partially here. And then some of you guys might also know that I was in Croatia in May, visiting my parents. So I'll be spending more time there. My mom has early stages of Alzheimer's, and my dad needs help. So I probably will be there again later this year is what I'm thinking. So kind of we're splitting up our time between 3 locations, which is kind of insane. But just, that's the way it is. That's life. So, so my studio here is very sparse. I really have a limited number of supplies, and I kind of like it that way. In San Jose, for those of you that have seen me there, work out of there, I work out of my garage. It's a 1-car garage that is fully packed, and with mostly my painting stuff. So I love coming here because I have so much room to spread out and only bring with me the stuff that I truly need. So I love that I have limited supplies. So, but anyway, going back to, I did buy a few supplies, and I kind of wish I didn't. I bought some smaller jars from Nova. I don't know why. I bought stainless steel. Really? Stainless steel. It's a metallic opaque. Could be interesting. Hi, Alexandra. That's my daughter on there again. Hope you have a wonderful day at work. I know you're getting ready to go or to start pretty soon. Anyway, don't know why I bought this. Play with it. This is medium violet purple. Again, I kind of like mixing my own purple. So red and blue make purple. And, now I've got these colors, so I guess I'll play with them. Another quinacridone violet, which I thought would be really cool. So anyway. It's all good. I didn't really need to. Why did I buy gold? Have no clue. I thought it looked pretty cool when I was on their website. So I like these small jars because you can test it out. These are 4 fluid ounces, so to try out. Anyway, didn't spend a ton on that, but again, I like the basics and I like to mix my own colors, and I think I really need to stick with that. So, okay. So for those of you who are just joining in and didn't join in yesterday, I think the video might be there for another hour. I did these 2 back here, which are going in my bedroom, 48 by 30. And I just did the first couple of, first coat, I guess, first layer or 2. Today I'm going to do a couple more layers, and today's going to be very similar to what I did yesterday. So I think it might be actually even a shorter session than yesterday. So we'll get started on that. So I'm putting out some of these colors as I talk. This I didn't dry yesterday or clean off, so I wanted to tell you guys about. This is Murphy's oil soap. I know it's backwards, but this stuff is awesome. I put this into a bucket, and then I will just soak anything that has paint on it, my paint brushes, my palette knives, and just let it soak overnight, and then it's going to pretty much get rid of the paint. The paint will kind of just come right off, and it'll come off of your brushes as well. So really cool stuff, and it's not very expensive. You can just buy this at the local store. So anyway, very cool to have. And I don't know what it would be called in other countries. This is meant for a wood cleaner. So have no idea what it would be in other countries, but I can see from the comments, it looks like some folks already know about this, which is awesome. Someone asked if I stretched my own canvases. I do not stretch my own canvases unless I'm doing a custom canvas, in which case my husband helps me build a frame, and then we stretch the canvas over it. I like to spend my time creating art and not creating the canvases. I'm not very good at that part of it, so I would rather just purchase those. I'm going to try to just peel this off and use this. So let's see, I'm going to try to read. Does it ruin your brushes? No, when I soak it in Murphy's oil soap, it does not. I'm using acrylic paints and it doesn't. If anybody ruins the brushes, it's me and the way I use my brushes. I am not easy on them, so I do not buy expensive brushes. I just buy the cheap ones because I really abuse them, so that's what I do. All right, so today I did not have time to make coffee because I was saying earlier that I was trying to figure out how to ship a package over to Canada from here. And so I kind of got caught up in all that. I'm also a double dipper. Ooh, doesn't that pink and orange together? Yummy. I'm putting those too close. All right, and some red here. All right, did I attend art school? No, I did not attend art school. About 5 or 6 years ago, 5 years ago? Yeah, 5 years ago, just when I was turning 50, just before I turned 50, I was doing mixed media, and I was just learning everything online. I would either take an online class or I would do some in-person workshops with artists that I liked. So that's how I learned, and then I learned a lot just by doing and experimenting. I think that's more important than anything else. So anyway, I didn't make coffee, but I do have my wine. It is a white Merlot, and although I love red and I love white, I love my white Merlot the best. Cheers. All right, so I've got my white, and again, I talked about this yesterday. It's Liquitex Gesso is my white. Love the texture that it creates, and very opaque, so it works well when I start blending. Okay, so as I start my first layer, like I did yesterday, wine is better than coffee. I agree. Especially this time of day, early afternoon. Okay, so I start with mark making, and then when a layer is dry, or even when it's not completely dry, I like to put in another layer. So I'm going to start with some mark making here. So I've got just a regular pencil. Down. I've got Prismacolor pencils, and this is carmine red. Anyway, red that I recently picked up. Ooh, and I love the way that looks against there. I don't know if you guys can see that. It looks beautiful. Especially against the blue. Sharpen it. All right, so that's some red. How about some teal here, or aqua green? So let's do this one. So I get the question, why do I do these marks when it doesn't show up on the final? And part of it is to loosen up and to get my arms moving around and doing, you know, doing the motions. So it's just helping me loosen up. I showed you this China marker yesterday as well, or also called a grease pencil. This one is in black. See, I use it up before I get to the end, but I have a bunch of these, so I'll grab another one. All right, and then, I didn't show you this yesterday, but here's my white China marker, or maybe I did. Same thing, China marker, and let's see. I'm gonna try to read questions as I peel this. All right. Free-spirited with my art. Yes, I guess so. I guess I never really thought about it much. But trying to be loose and relaxed. All right, so going with white. Now, white I didn't use when I started yesterday because I was on a white canvas and it wouldn't have shown. But here, hopefully you can see some of this white coming through. Love it against the teal over here. Yep, coming to the end here. I'm going to peel back just a little bit. Although I do have another white one in my box there. Maybe I should have grabbed that. All right. And yes, I like to switch hands. So this is my non-dominant hand, my left. And allows for even looser markings using the non-dominant hand. Here's my other white, and another, and another. You think I have enough of these? See, told you, love these. All right, so that's about it for the mark making. Set that box aside. Let's see what questions. Valerie likes it already. I got a ways to go. What is that, a white China marker? Yes, it is. White China marker. Those are made by Sharpie. I get a box of them at a time. When you start painting, do you follow the marks? No, not really. I just ignore them. They're the layers underneath. Is this abstract expressionism? I believe it is. Definitely in my beginning stages would be. I don't know so much at the end, because towards the end, I think I'm trying to not think as much as I try to complete a painting, but I do, I feel like I put a lot more thought into the final product. So I'm thinking about composition and colors and how that's all balancing. And then I don't feel like I'm being as expressionistic, if that's a word. All right, I'm going to scroll down a little bit because I think I missed a few questions. Let's see. Is your canvas dry when you're mark making with pencil? Yes, Funky Artist 8. Yes, it is dry, and but not always. So sometimes when I'm working small, like this one I just finished, and this one is varnished and ready to go. When I'm working small, then I don't always wait for my paint to dry, and so I will start doing marks over it, and sometimes on the larger pieces as well. Okay, and then do you use gesso or white paint? I use gesso as my white paint. I don't purchase white paint, I just like to use the gesso. I don't remember which other artist told me that and started doing that, and I and I thought it was a cool idea, so I decided to go for it. Okay, I'm gonna use the same brush I used yesterday. That seemed to work well. Dip it a little bit in water. Let's see, I've got rags under here that are kind of used, but that'll work. All right, so on this layer, so far I got my mark making down, and then I'm going to go with my warm colors. Here's that red that I was talking about, which is fabulous as it is, but when I add some white to it, I think this pink is even prettier than the pink that I bought. I love that. So just like yesterday, I am not going to be thinking too much as I put down this layer because this is not my final layer. I like to do my cool colors, my warm colors, sometimes in opposite order, and then I like to come back in with my final layer or two. Someone asked, what varnish do I use? I like to use the Liquitex. This is high gloss Liquitex. I also have the satin that I just purchased. Satin Liquitex, love it. It goes on very easily, and I love the results. I've been using the high gloss on my smaller pieces, and I don't know if you can see here. So this one hasn't been varnished yet. I just took a picture of it. I gotta take photos of it before it's varnished. So that, and then look at this one. Do you see the brightness in color? I don't know if you can really see that because I'm using kind of similar pinks there and reds, but this one really pops a lot more. So I'm loving the high gloss for that reason. But usually my larger paintings, I usually do a satin on those. But I often start with a high gloss to get the colors to pop, and then I put 2 layers of satin on afterwards. All right, saves huge money for the important colors. Yes, that's so true when you use gesso as your white. I don't know if it makes a difference between using gesso versus just plain old white paint, to be honest. I bought white paint years ago, and I only used it for a short period of time, so I really didn't see the difference between the two. What I like about gesso is it helps build up texture. So when I'm mixing it with my colors, I'm also building up some texture. All right, let's go back to mixing colors and paints. All right, and I love to get the edges because I'm going to see that. Got some orange straight out of the bottle. I think orange and red are probably the only two that I really prefer out of the bottle because when I mix white with it, I really don't care for the color. Get some drips going there. So here's my pink that I purchased. See, really close to the color that I had before, or that I created on my own. So I don't think I needed to buy a whole bottle of pink. But I love pink, so it won't go to waste. I will use it up eventually. So I like to use the same brush and just dip the color. So I'm adding now a little bit of white. Okay, so that coral I do like, and I just mixed some of the orange and the pink together. Got this gorgeous coral color. I'll go back and look at questions in a few minutes. I love white and adding white. See, this is red with white. I don't really care for it. I don't know, it's kind of a dull, I don't know. It's okay for under layers. I just don't often use it as my top layer. Oh, so I did figure out how to save my live sessions. I think I have a piece of hair on my face or something. So I'm really excited that I saved yesterday's session, and once I finish this canvas, I'm going to stitch together all these live videos and I'm going to put them on my YouTube channel. So I've got some videos out there already going all the way back to my mixed media days. So if you want to find me on YouTube, it's Betty Krause Art. And I see questions coming in, so give me a moment to get through this paint and then I will read those and respond. So this is one that I used yesterday, skewer. I like to use. I also, in San Jose, I have a big nail that I use. And I don't have one on the shelf here, but that comes in handy too. As long as you're not poking through the surface, right? I'm kind of looking for white space to fill in, but not entirely. It'll eventually get covered up, or some white space will show in the final. Some more white. Oh, so I have to explain my get up here. These are my painting summer pants. And it was so cold up here, I didn't bring my long pants, so I am wearing my ski tights underneath so that I can stay warm. And then I didn't bring enough painting shirts, so I snatched one of my husband's painting shirts today. And I did get some laundry done, but really I only brought 2 painting shirts. And I don't know what I was thinking, because when I'm home, I live in my painting clothes the whole week. Every day when I get up and I get dressed, the majority, like 90% of the time, I put on my painting pants and my painting shirt because I know I'll eventually get out and do some painting. So don't know what I was thinking when I packed for this trip. I packed way too much clothing for going out, and honestly, I'd rather be in here. So next time I'm going to just bring mostly my painting clothes and forget all the other stuff. All right, so I think I'm just about done using this up, and I'll go back and look at questions. So as I mentioned, today will be a shorter session because I'm just throwing on the warm colors. Ooh, I want yellow. Oh, hang on. You know, and I forgot to buy, I just bought some more Indian yellow, but I also love cadmium yellow medium, and sadly, I didn't realize I didn't have enough here, and that's pretty much dry, so I'm not even going to use that. I need to order more of that, so I'm just going to dip in here, and I love this color. Isn't that just gorgeous? Oh, that is like pure sunshine right there. Okay, wait till I add some white to it. It's even more yummy. Some white. Okay, now here it is with the white. Oh, love, love, love that. Let's get some over on the other side. I am going to just dip in. Lot. Okay, I know I've said I don't often use the color straight out of the jar, but now I'm thinking maybe I use it out of the jar more often than I think I do. Because some of these colors I just love straight out of the jar. All right, so add some white to that. That really brightened up the canvases. All right, just use up that. So I know it's hard for you to see, but there's a lot of cool texture starting to happen, starting to build up. And I'm putting it on kind of thick so that I can get more of that texture on there. All right, now I'm just scooping up all the colors together. And because they're all warm colors, I won't be making mud, but instead making this cool color right there. All right, grab the last of it here. Add a little bit of this color in here. All right, now I can stand back a bit. Wow, that's insanity going on there, right? Crazy. I love it. Crazy love. I think I'm going to scratch into the surface with this larger one. Okay, so got that done. All right, let me take a sip of wine and read. All right, I'm going to scroll backwards a bit. Let's see how far I can go back. Okay, I already... gesso is matte and the paint is glossy. That's probably true. Gesso is very flat, so it flattens out the other colors a little bit. Okay, glad you're finding that it's helpful. What kind of brush are you using? An old brush, who knows? Let's see what it looks like. I don't know, it's painted over so much that I don't know. It's for acrylic paints. Again, I just grab whatever brushes are on sale and that look like they can withstand my abuse on the canvas. Let's see what else we got. Thank you for the waves, appreciate it. Do you varnish all your paintings and why do you varnish? Okay, so Art Happy Me had that question. Yes, I varnish. You know, for a period of time, I wasn't varnishing my pieces on paper, and I decided I would start doing that. So I use either a spray varnish, a spray varnish, or, you know what I like even better is just using the liquid varnish on the paper. And it just makes the paper a little bit more sturdier. So I really like doing that. And the reason I do that is it's got the UV protectors in it, which is important. All of you guys probably know you should never hang your art in direct sunlight, but sometimes sunlight will come in. And just over the years, sunlight, natural sunlight happening is going to start to break down the paints. So using the varnish is a really good idea. So everything on canvas and on paper, I am varnishing. The exception is if it's art for me, for example, these, I will not varnish these. And for those of you that saw me create, last December, I created two, I think 6 feet by 6 feet or 5 feet by 5 feet. Anyway, they're in our family dining room area. And if you go to my stories and you know those circles that are above my feed, you'll see, I think it says 6 by 6 painting. You can look there to see those. Those I decided not to varnish. And the reason for that is because I think that I will want to do something else in a couple of years and I just don't want to deal with the varnish being on it. So I'm not going to varnish them. But again, that's just for me. But anything that I make available for other people, I like to varnish and protect it to ensure that it's going to last. All right, what kind of paper do you paint on? I paint on Bristol and watercolor and mixed media. So I'll show you what I've got here. So again, limited supplies here, but I love Bristol paper. So this is what it looks like, Strathmore. This is the 11 by 14 size, but I have 9 by 12 and 14 by 17. And then here is the watercolor paper, again by Strathmore. I know that's all backwards, but you can see what it looks like. This is the 18 by 24, which is, I love this size. So, and I love this paper. So that's what I use. And then I also have, not with me here in Winthrop, but in San Jose, I also have mixed media paper. Okay, so that was, looks like I've got, hang on, sorry. Okay, I already answered that question. Okay. Planino Tavares Jr. says I should stop. I would stop, but it's not, you know, it looks pretty cool. I have to tell you guys, I do think it looks really cool, but it's not me. It's not done for me yet. Yes, it could be done, but I'm not ready to call it done. So I'm going to keep going. All right. Love the yellow. What's the name of that? That is Indian yellow, and add some white to it and it's just heavenly. So, Indian yellow. And then the other one I like is the cadmium. God, I have such a hard time with that. how about I just call it CAD? CAD Yellow Medium, which I also love as well. A little bit of a different yellow. This one, you can see the yellow. Let's see, I used it here in this one, so you can see the yellow, the brighter yellow here, versus the kind of orangey yellow. All right, so that, let's see, moving on, looking good. Time to think about stopping. Nope, not yet. Oh, good, somebody answered Indian yellow. Yes, what paint are you using, please? Okay, if you go back, you'll see that I talk about it. Nova Color in Southern California. Google them and you can buy directly from them. You can only purchase directly from them. Hello, Monica. Let's see. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Anna Marie. Appreciate that. What kind of paper do I use? I just talked about that. Okay. Thank you for doing this for us strangers. You guys are not strangers. You're my friends, just hanging out in the studio with me. Okay, when you ship your paper pieces, do you roll them without messing up the paper? I do not roll them. I'll show you what I'm using to ship. So, again, here in Winthrop, I don't have a whole lot of supplies, but I just ordered 11 by 14 backer board. These are the backer board that go with your matting. I'm going to be using these plus one more piece of cardboard in the middle to ship my smaller pieces. So these will ship like this. And I've got cello. They'll go into a cello so that they are actually... They'll go wax paper and then into a cello to completely protect them. And then I'll ship them like this. My larger ones, my 18 by 24, I also have ordered through my local office supply store. I think it was Staples. I ordered a whole bunch of, it's like 28 by 25 cardboard. So I use that for shipping. I don't roll it in a tube. I guess I could. I think in the end, it all comes out to about the same. I know that if you are shipping in a tube via FedEx, they really tag on an extra fee for that. All right, so that's that. And if I do have to roll them, you want to roll with the paper, you want to roll this way. You don't want to roll in towards it. So you want to roll away from it. And that's supposed to be the best way to do that. I've only done it a few times and I didn't have any issues when it arrived. So, all right. Thank you, Lori. Let's see. Okay, I know some folks are requesting to be in my live video and I'm not even sure how that works, so I'm not ready to do that. Thank you from Brazil, or thank you to Brazil. Indian yellow, yes. Ardith, hi Ardith. All right. What is the surface you are mixing the paint on? This is plastic, it's 4mm plastic. I've got it on my walls as well to protect my walls. You can see the blue tape up on top. And you can find that in your paint department at your local hardware store. Let's see, okay. Thank you guys. Thank you for all the sweet comments. I will be doing another live video, so I'll talk about that in a moment. Do you tend to stay with certain tones or does it organically grow? You know, that's an interesting question. Mum moved out. I love that handle you got there. Okay, so, you know, when I look at my artwork, I notice my color scheme. I think we notice that about a lot of artists. I know artists that I follow. I will know who it is before I even see their name because I recognize their colors and their style. And I think I've just kind of gravitated. I love bright, happy colors. And for a while there, I was kind of fighting it, and I was thinking, oh well, that's not very professional, or that's not very very accepting. You know, I can't get big commissions if I'm going to do, you know, these bright, happy colors. But that's not true. I'm just doing what I love, and there are folks out there like you that love what I do and love the colors that I use. So for now, it's these bright, happy colors. I've done some neutral colors in the past, but they just don't speak to me the way these colors do. You know, will it grow? I'm sure I'll grow into some additional colors that are going to complement the colors that I use now. But I think we just have to be true to ourselves, is what I'm learning as I go through this process, and just put out there what you love to do and what speaks to you, what makes you happy. You know, I did a written interview for a publication that I just submitted a few days ago, and one of the questions in there got me really thinking about. I'm peeling my surface here as I talk to you. Got me thinking about, you know, what it is that I do, you know, why is it that I create, or what is it that I create? And it took me a long time to figure that out. It was very frustrating. You know, an artist may remember this from the class I took with her in Seattle years ago, but I just didn't know what kind of artist I was. And it's because I was so new to it and I was just learning. And I know a lot of folks here are new artists, and you guys are maybe just getting into it. Maybe you're a year into it or 2 years into it, and you don't know what kind of artist you are. And I just want to tell you that's okay. Although it probably doesn't feel okay. It took me the past, 4 or 5 years to figure out what kind of artist I am. And I feel like I'm just now figuring it out and figuring out what is it that inspires me and what is it that I am painting. And so I kind of figured that out just like 6 months ago or thereabouts. And that is what speaks to me, and what I really love is fields of flowers. It's that simple. And it's funny because it's that simple, and I thought, nah, that couldn't be it. It's got to be more intense or more deep than that or more complicated than that. But you know what? It's not. It's as simple as that. I love fields of flowers. This morning I was helping my husband finish up a exterior painting job that we were on, and there are wildflowers blooming, and I was out there picking them because I just love wildflowers. I love flowers, and I love seeing them in the fields. And so that's what a lot of my paintings are all about, is fields of flowers. So this is to me my abstract take on a field of flowers. Just as all these other ones are as well, you know, and they vary a little bit, but not hugely. And that's what it is for me. And this one also, I love the colors in this one. And this one's going to Finland, to the birthday girl. So if you're still thinking about what is it that you do and what is it that inspires you, give yourself a break and just keep creating, and it's going to all come together. And I guess the other thing is noticing. Notice what calls to you, what attracts you. And I guess I didn't think about this, but when I'm driving in the car and I'm constantly looking at these fields of flowers or farmland or groves of trees or meadows, and I didn't notice that I was noticing. So I think it just took me a long time to figure that out, to realize what I was noticing. So I would say take time to notice what you're noticing and pay attention to that, and write that down or make a mental note of it. So anyway, thank you for listening to all that. I don't know where that came from. Anyway, glad the videos are helpful. I'm scrolling through just a little bit more. Are your acrylics heavy paint? No, they're more liquid. They're somewhere between, without it spilling out, they're somewhere between soft body and fluid, right in between there. All right, so let's see. Oh, okay, glad some of this resonates with you folks. Thank you for your comments. I'm kind of scrolling through quickly. Okay, so thank you for your comments. I really appreciate it. And let me just talk real quick about, okay, so So I'm going to leave these overnight and I'm going to let these dry. Tomorrow I'm going to come back in. So I just talked about what inspires me and what I love to create. But these canvases are for me, and I'm going to do something different. So it's my opportunity to, just like what I did, if you guys get a chance to go look at my stories, my saved stories, those little circles, the canvases that I created for our front room are not my normal style. I wanted to do something totally different since it was just for me. So I'm going to do something different back here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on Pinterest, which I don't do very often, but I'm going to go through and I'm going to scroll through and look at a whole bunch of different abstracts that I love. There's this gentleman, I think his name is Hans Lars, or God, I know I'm messing that up, but I love his work. So I'm going to look at it. So I'm going to look at a bunch of stuff today or tomorrow morning, and then I'm going to put it all away. And I'm not going to look at it. And then I'm going to come in here and just whatever I can remember from all of those pictures that I look at, I'm going to create something. So I don't want to copy somebody else's work. So that's why I'm just going to review it all and kind of store in my head some images of what I liked from each one and then create something from there. So tomorrow, don't look for something that's going to look just like my field of flowers. Maybe they'll be there, maybe they won't. So we're going to see. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do tomorrow. So thank you all for joining in today. I will save this one as well. And as I mentioned before, I'm going to stitch together all of my live sessions and get them on my YouTube channel after everything is done. So I guess 2:30 tomorrow. I'm hoping 2:30 tomorrow. I've got a few errands to run, but my goal is 2:30 Pacific time again tomorrow afternoon. All right, so thank you again. Cheers. Have a great day wherever you are.